This is a WCBI First Alert Severe Weather Update.
Chief Meteorologist Isaac Williams here in the Weather Center. Just before midnight, Dylan here still with me. We've got sort of a odd situation going on. We're right near the radar site and we're picking up on several rotation areas that are sort of potentially dropping occasional brief tornadoes, again without official warnings here. Again, this is a little bit unconventional, but with our radar training, we feel confident enough to go on and just sort of stay on here. Again, if any other reason, there's a severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag that was just issued and sort of upgraded for Lowndes County, Mississippi. So especially for areas near Caledonia and the Air Force Base. But what I want to call your attention to is this feature south of the Greenwood Springs radar site. I want to show this feature that was one scan old. It looked like another potential debris signature showing up near Moats Roberts Road and Bartahatchee Road near Guin Road. Again, this is right near Greenwood Springs and the radar site that sits right there. And again, that was likely a debris signature once again. Now, it doesn't look as pronounced. Again, these types of storms are going to be extremely fast with their potential tornado production here, but again, very close to Greenwood Springs in Monroe County. That was apparently another debris signature, at least high confidence of storm rotation. You can clearly see that the rotational signature was very tight in that regard there just a few minutes ago, and also our SHEAR rate product that we have here exclusively at WCBI also was honing in on that exact same area of high wind potential. Again, whether the winds come from a tornado or come from a straight line, they're still potentially causing some damage. So again, we'll stay here with you just a little while because again, I think that this might continue to happen with very short to no notice. And so we're going to just kind of stay with you here for a little while. We have Caledonia getting rocked right now with rain, wind, possibly some small hail, as well as lots and lots of lightning. In fact, I will see if I can bring in our Skycam in a second, but we have had constant lightning almost in Columbus looking north at this batch of storms. There's also additional strong storms pushing into Clay County as well. This does look like that's going to be mainly a wind producing signature there coming through Clay County, and also for Lowndes County, we've got this very strong storm near Caledonia that also is going to be moving through. Again, we've had some other indications that there might have been a brief touchdown near the Air Force Base as well, and not sure if storm surveys will happen tomorrow since these have been super short. Or something like that, but still, we felt it prudent enough to spend a few more minutes here with you this evening. After all, it's a random Wednesday night. We have our first storm threat. We've been watching this for days, and it's just something that we're going to continue to watch. Now, again, in Monroe County, just south of the radar site just a few minutes ago, we had pretty increasing confidence here. You can see that feature right there, just a few miles south of Greenwood Springs, that wrapped in circulation likely did produce potentially a brief tornado about 7 or 8 minutes ago, and now that feature is over here, but it is weaker as it approaches the state line. Over here is Lamar County. This is Monroe County. There's no formal tornado warnings tonight at the moment, but we do have the severe thunderstorm warning with tornado possible tag attached to Lowndes County. Again, the worst of the weather is still north of Columbus. It's very breezy here in downtown at the TV station, but no mischief happening in the Friendly City at the moment. It's all focused to the north near the Caledonia. I was out there yesterday at the middle school at their career days. They're a fantastic group of folks out there, and they love us. They tell me to watch all the time, and you may be up this evening wondering what the weather's happening. And again, our mindset here is that if we're on television, you need to be concerned about where we're talking about. Obviously, let's pull the radar out to an area-wide view, and basically along and behind this line, all clear. So Tupelo, Pontotoc, New Albany, Oxford, you're done with severe weather. And the severe weather threat's not huge and high in advance of this line, but we've already seen probably 2 potential brief spin-ups just in the last 15 minutes, and we have currently 2 severe thunderstorm warnings and some additional ones in the Delta. All of this is accompanying this to the south. Dylan's got our SHEAR rate pulled up for Caledonia with this potential wind signature moving through the northern part of Lowndes County. Dylan?
That's right, Isaac. These storms just got really sneaky recently, right? They're trying to do some mischievous things, and maybe there's a small area of enhanced spin that may briefly touch down, and radar is able to pick up on some of that, but radar scans come in maybe every 1, 2, or 3 minutes, so you think about a brief tornado lasting maybe 30 seconds, it's hard for the radar to pick that up. We've talked about some possible tornadic circulations, but here with our wind shear rate product, exclusive to the station here, we see this area of enhanced shear, and the way this is kind of curved makes us think that this is a damaging wind signature. Winds gusting out from these thunderstorms near Woodlawn, Caledonia, Flint Hill, and to get your bearings straight, this is northern Lowndes County. Monroe County is up here where Isaac was talking about. Over here is the Columbus Air Force Base, and this is downtown Columbus. We're not talking about downtown Columbus right now. You're going to have some heavy rain, wind, and we'll keep an eye on storms just in case things start to get a little bit mischievous and try not to behave themselves, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But this wind signature will continue to push off through northeastern Lowndes County into parts of Lamar County in West Alabama. Here within the next 15 minutes or so, if you're right along the Lowndes County, Lamar County line. Vernon, this should stay south of you. It's kind of moving in a more east-southeasterly direction, but Millport, this is eventually moving toward you. I can put a storm track on it here for you. And these storms really have been pretty unpredictable. It's hard for the Weather Service to keep an eye on all of these small little areas and stay up to date with them. Isaac and I, of course, with our radar knowledge and just, these localized climate knowledge ourselves, we're trying to keep the best eye on things we can and look at it minute to minute and pick up on every little thing the radar data is telling us. But storm track for this wind signature in northeastern Lowndes County, we see STAR at 12:14. Man, it's been a long day. It's past midnight. If you're still up right now watching, thanks for keeping us on and allowing us to help keep you safe and weather aware this evening. Melbourne, 12:20 a.m. Fernbank, 12:24. Millport, 12:31. So Millport, you've still got about 20 to 25 minutes, but this is a decent looking wind signature over here just right about now. Lots of lightning associated with it as well. Just south of Flint Hill and east of Caledonia, about to cross the Mississippi is on this side and Alabama state line. So this is Lamar County, Alabama over here. That's Lowndes County over in Mississippi. Again, this is all north of Columbus. I'll turn the radar reflectivity back on for you. Columbus, maybe a couple sprinkles right now, but winds are about to get pretty gusty. This is a nasty looking line of storms. Kind of looks like a snake curving all over the place across GTR and much of our coverage area. Starkville, your drive right now. West Point, I'm sure there's a lot of lightning, a lot of thunder. Rain's about to get really heavy and winds are going to get really gusty. There's a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Clay County until 12:15, so another 15 minutes or so, but I don't think it's going to take 10 minutes for these storms to move through and be out. I think they'll still be raining. Might have some strong storm conditions in West Point still longer than 10 minutes from now. Starkville, I hate to say it, but you've still got maybe 30 minutes or more until the worst of the weather gets to you. A lot of lightning in this area, and it's all pushing down along and south of the US 82 corridor right now from, let's see, Columbus all the way over to Eupora. Still some heavy rain falling from Eupora over to Winona toward I-55. That's moving down toward Ackerman and Kosciuszko eventually. But the worst of the weather is yet to come in West Point, Starkville, and Columbus. Caledonia, how's it feel up there? You're getting it right now. Lots of thunder, heavy rain, lightning, gusty winds. Like I said, that's all pushing off into West Alabama. Sulligent, Vernon, you're seeing lots of heavy rain right now. And let me just do a quick little check of velocity or wind shear products. Other things. We're not far from the radar site. The radar site's right up here in Monroe County. Columbus is only down here. So for example, we're only looking, the radar beam is only 700 feet off the ground, which relatively speaking is really low for what we usually deal with when we're looking at radar data. Still seeing a really, not good, but an impressive wind signature here. Just moved in, like I said, out of Lowndes County and into far western Lamar County. So Highway 96 is right here. This is 17, that main north-south highway through West Alabama. Vernon's up here. The worst of the winds, the strongest winds, look to stay south of Vernon, but will move through Steens, Melbourne, Fernbank, and eventually Millport. Northern Pickens County may also get in on some of this action. Just really gusty winds. We're not seeing any indications of tornado, of any spin-up tornadoes right now, it looks to be mostly damaging winds at this time. We do have a couple different thunderstorms just kind of congealing on one another right here in this region. Thankfully, all north of downtown Columbus, but we've got a lot of loyal viewers and great people that live out here. We want to keep you informed. If you're asleep right now, I'm sorry. You may be watching me in the next 5 minutes, and this loud thunder, lightning, this heavy thunderstorm may wake you up. But there's our wind signature on our exclusive wind shear product, seeing some strong returns here. So this is definitely the possibility for some damaging winds. No formal severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Lamar or Pickens County in West Alabama. That's because over here we're dealing with the National Weather Service in Jackson. They issue all the warnings, but once you cross that state line, you're into Birmingham's territory. So the National Weather Service in Birmingham issues all of those warnings. Do want to remind you though, Starkville, the worst of the weather is yet to come. Tupelo, you're all clear right now. Tupelo, just some light rain falling. We've got a lot of lightning, gusty winds, heavy rain moving towards Starkville into West Point right now as we speak. There's a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Clay and far northeastern Oktibbeha counties until 12:15. And of course, over here back home in Columbus, we have a severe thunderstorm warning until 12:30. So really just a lot going on, lots of heavy rain, lots of nasty storms. I'll send it back over to Isaac on the wall.
Yeah, Dylan, thankfully no active tornadoes that we can see on radar or with warnings. I do want to show our Vernon Skycam. This is the view that's the storms are coming in. We had a really bad flash of lightning earlier, but this is the type of view that we've been seeing. You can see the lightning is almost constant in Lamar County as some of these storms roll in. Again, no formal severe thunderstorm warning for Lamar County, but the same type of wind signature that produced at least a 44-mile-per-hour wind gust at the Columbus Air Force Base is now pressing into Lamar County. So obviously that's cause for concern. It's not quite to severe limits, but you can see this prolific lightning show. In fact, Shane, if you can just kind of make me disappear and just take that full, we'll just kind of watch this together for just a little bit. Again, as this prolific lightning show continues into the city of Vernon. Dylan's watching the major line of storms that's rolling in from the west and northwest, and we have seen repeated signs of pretty strong winds. In fact, this is almost kind of a wall of wind kind of showing up here. It's looking like we've got about 50 to 55 mile-per-hour winds on the outbound going away from the radar. So that would be indicating that you can just see lightning strike after lightning strike. We're likely to see some power outages. We did see some localized power outages with one of those radar signatures, and we actually have a SHEAR lock back up on us here. So let's bring me back on the and again, so Vernon was here, obviously, lightning, thunder happening, but this is the area to watch. We're going to continue to watch this closely. Dylan's got the velocity zoomed in right there, very close to Star and Melbourne. Dylan?
Yep, taking a look at this wind velocity right now, just really, it's that same area we were tracking earlier. Just moved into Lamar County from Lowndes County, Alabama. I'm going to take this data off, but this is our Barron shear lock. It kind of is the computer telling us, hey, there's an area of enhanced wind shear right here, or stronger winds than there are elsewhere. And that shear lock was showing up because there may be some convergence of winds going one direction, winds going the other direction, coming together right there. But I would be a little cautious to say that's a sign of maybe rotation or tornadic rotation, just because these thunderstorms are all just so messy coming together right now that we're not seeing really any defined area of rotation besides this big wall of wind, like Isaac mentioned, moving into Lamar County. And it's far southwestern Lamar County. Millport's back over here. This is 96, Highway 96 that runs down toward Columbus, back over into Lamar County. So right along the Lamar-Pickens County line in West Alabama, and it just moved out of Lowndes County in east central Mississippi. We did, 44 mile-per-hour wind gust was recorded at the Columbus Air Force Base. That's the storm that's just moved out of Lowndes County and into Lamar. So this storm right here that's moving toward Melbourne and along Highway 96 toward Millport has a history of producing 44 mile-per-hour wind gusts at the Columbus Air Force Base back in Mississippi. That's pretty substantial. Just reading through some of the reports that they have in their chat, making sure I'm not missing anything, staying up to date. But yeah, Isaac and I are going to continue to watch this storm moving into Lamar County and Pickens County out of Mississippi into Alabama closely.
Yeah, Dylan, thanks. Apologize for the microphone issue. I think we're good now. The winds here approaching severe criteria. Again, 50 to 60 mile per hour winds here approaching the Melbourne and Star communities in the far southwestern portion of Lamar County, approaching places like Highway 17 from Millport and Kennedy back up to the city of Vernon, the county seat right there. Again, our computer's still indicating potentially some rotation there. Dylan mentioned it's a little bit probably more of a convergent type signature rather than a rotational signature. Regardless, we're seeing 50 to 60 mile per hour winds move in. Now, again, we also have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued to encompass the rest of Lowndes County, the rest of Oktibbeha County, as well as northern Noxubee County. And these storms, again, looking a little more fierce between Starkville and West Point, so very close to Phoebe potentially there. And this is going to be tracking toward West Point and Starkville in the next, let's say, 30 minutes. This is going to be more of a gusty wind potential, not seeing any rotation there. The only really suspicious part of this line is you can see it kind of dipped down into Columbus and kind of bowing back out a little bit in Lamar County. So if we do have any potential issues, I would suspect that they might be kind of pushing into Lamar County at this point. Again, no formal severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Lamar County, but again, just how seeing how this line is surging out a bit. Again, this is 96 right here. It's pretty much moving right down the highway, and that's something to watch closely. In fact, they did just issue a severe thunderstorm warning for this line. So it just popped up there. So Vernon not included, Millport, Kennedy, Belk, you are included there, Highway 96 right there, and then the northern part of Pickens County all the way down to Reform and Gordo. This does include the entire stretch of US 82 from the Tuscaloosa County line over to the Lamar County line. And again, it's mainly for damaging winds. Again, with the type of signature that we're seeing, it still wouldn't surprise me to see a very brief tornado. But again, whether it's a EF0 60 mile per hour wind or a straight line 60 mile per hour wind, really doesn't matter at the end of the day, but we do know that these warnings should be taken seriously always. And so basically from Vernon to Melbourne and Star over to areas just south of Caledonia to near downtown Columbus, and then stretching back over to West Point and getting close to Starkville there. All of this is going to continue moving to the east-southeast at about, let's say, 30 to 40 miles per hour. Again, we'll put this into motion so you can see how things are tracking here just in the last 45 minutes or so. So places like Louisville and Macon, you've kind of dodged the bullet for most of the day. We saw some rain really early. It's now Thursday, so yesterday morning, I guess. But this line of storms obviously will be making its way through. So if you have not seen lightning, thunder, heavy rain, gusty winds, some hail, all of this activity is moving towards you folks out in Louisville, you folks in Ackerman, and you folks out in Brooksville as well as Macon. Again, Brooksville is in the severe thunderstorm warning. City of Macon is not for the time being. But again, as this line of storms continues to sort of surge off to the south and east, that is something that pretty much everybody will have to deal with. Again, the reason we're here, you probably are wondering why we're on television. But again, we have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings, and we have had potential tornado touchdowns in Monroe County earlier, about 30 minutes ago or so. But now Monroe County, you're almost completely clear. We always like to give all clears around here, and I do want to just remind everyone, if you're just joining us or if you're watching us on the app or if you're watching us on our Facebook page, we are basically calling an all clear now from, let's say, Winona to Eupora to about Aberdeen northward. So if you live in Tupelo, if you live in Fulton, Tishomingo, Prentiss County, Boonville, New Albany, Pontotoc, Houston, Vardaman, Calhoun City, if I'm calling out your city there, you can go to bed. There's no more issues with severe weather. We don't have any rain in the forecast for several more days. And know we had a really long stretch of weather that we did not have for major weather issues. In fact, this is the first severe weather threat we've had in months around here. And again, it can be scary at times. We've had several people kind of come up to us and message us and email us like, is this storm's going to be bad? In a classic sense, no, but with any sort of localized pocket of damage potential, we want to be here to let you know and what to expect. So again, this is what we're watching here going forward. We have a severe thunderstorm warning again for basically Starkville, West Point, and northern Pickens and southern portions of Lamar County. So back to Lamar we go, and we'll kind of just go down the line here. Now the shear rate's not as maxed out as it was just a few scans ago, so that may be some good news, is that the winds are coming down a little bit right here, but still indicating the potential for some gusty winds of upwards of 50 miles per hour near the town of Millport, and then down Lowndes County, or State Highway 69 that comes out of Columbus and turns over into 86 in Pickens County, very close to the county and state line right there. There is some indications of some gusty wind potential. Not seeing too much for back of our friends in Starkville, but again, very mean looking line of storms on radar. Lots of lightning showing up there as well, and so that is something also to call attention to. Again, just in the last few minutes, we've seen that shear rate kind of come down. You can see it's not as strong as it was in Lamar County, but still we do see that potential for some gusty winds. We're still kind of on the edge in Columbus. Again, it's still breezy. That thin line right there is an outflow boundary, so that would indicate maybe this segment of the line between West Point and Columbus is a little weaker because we've had some cooler air rush out in front of it. But we have not had that happen for Starkville, Ackerman, or for our friends in Lamar and Pickens County. You don't see that green line in advance of the other main line. And so that indicates that the storms are still maintaining their intensity and still maintaining the possibility of having some gusty wind potential as we go forward here into kind of the wee hours of the night. Again, it's kind of no man's land right now. We're not covering up any substantial programming at 12:19 in the morning. And so we're going to continue to stay with you for probably a little while longer as we continue to watch this stuff closely. Dylan's got...
I just want to say that there are... power lines down in the same location that we were talking about the possible tornado touchdown earlier. There's reports of power lines down in the same location in Monroe County near Prairie and Benford. I'll try to get some more information on that when it becomes available. Yeah, that was near Prairie and Benford earlier. Let's see if we can go back and get that. It's a little too far back with the current settings I have on the radar. But needless to say, these storms are spinning up quickly. They have the possibility to do so, especially as they move through Monroe County. That seemed to be the hot spot. But as Isaac was mentioning, multiple severe thunderstorm warnings in effect right now. Starkville, Columbus, Millport, I could call out, gosh, I had two handfuls of cities across the region right now along the US 82 corridor that are just getting pounded with strong thunderstorms. Columbus, lots of heavy rain. I just took a peek outside the studio and we got a brief period of heavy rain. There's almost constant lightning overhead, or there was earlier at least, hearing some thunder as well. And we also have some storms moving into Lamar County, into West Alabama. Again, there's let's just check all our bases here. These storms have been surprising many of us a little bit here tonight. It does look like these storms down toward Starkville and Columbus, we see this kind of green line out ahead of it. It's really noticeable here on velocity right in this area. Those cooler winds out ahead of this line are kind of surging out in front, which may be a good sign as they move toward the south of Starkville and US 82. They may begin to weaken a little bit. Hopefully, you know, it's 12:21 p.m. Hopefully they'll begin to weaken soon. Everybody can get some sleep. Isaac and I can get some sleep. Everyone here in the studio who's been doing a great job helping us stay on with coverage here can get some sleep. Hopefully everyone in North Mississippi can put this first round, North Mississippi and West Alabama can put this first round of severe weather behind us and just get a good night's sleep and enjoy the nice weather we have in store for the rest of the week. But right now, one of the primary areas we're watching is Lamar County in West Alabama near Kennedy, Kingville, Millport, Fernbank. Heavy thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms are about to move through. There's a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 1 a.m. So we still got about 40 minutes or so until that expires. And I'll put this in motion just so we can kind of gauge an idea of, well, I don't know why the radar data is is playing so slow, but I can guarantee you it's moving off in this general direction, and it'll be another 30 minutes or so before it moves through those locations, and this line of storms wrapping around will eventually sag toward the south through Columbus. West Point, you're in the thick of it right now, lots of heavy rain, but the good news is we're not seeing any signs of tornadoes, any tornadic circulations, nothing that catches our eye as in, oh, this might spin up really quick or could cause some problems for people. These are strong and severe thunderstorms, stuff you definitely need to take seriously, but we're thankful for the fact that there aren't any tornadoes on the ground or in progress, and that the kind of spinny mischief that was going on earlier has come to or is in a lull right now, or has come to an end, hopefully. We're continuing to watch this, but this look on radar that this line of storms has moving through Starkville, Columbus, Artesia, toward Octok and Crawford eventually looks like a damaging wind threat, not a tornado threat. Safe to say that. Columbus, the worst will be here soon. I know Isaac and I are keeping an eye on the chat, seeing what the National Weather Service said about any past circulations we've seen or anything going on right now. I will say this is a huge line of storms. I'll zoom out here so you can see it even more. Over toward Albertville, Alabama, in northwest Alabama, the hills over there, long line of storms wrapping around from there, north of Birmingham, all the way over here toward Columbus, and even back down toward Yazoo City and over toward the Delta. The good news is toward Ackerman, Choctaw County, Atala County, over toward I-55, this is all non-severe. Not saying it won't be strong or loud, or it could be bumpy at times with some gusty winds or lightning, heavy rain, but the main concern for severe thunderstorms by definition is Lamar County, Pickens County, Columbus, Lowndes County, Oktibbeha, and then northern Noxubee as these storms continue to move off to the south and east. I'll send it back over to Isaac.
Yeah, Dylan, just mentioning again that wind potential of exterior about 40 to 50 miles per hour, still pushing through the southern part of Lamar County. Again, this is just north of Highway 96, and still some loose, broad rotation, weak rotation, potentially trying to surge right here toward Kennedy. Still nothing incredibly strong, but these winds and lightning and whatever the case have started to knock out some power. Again, I've been following our Facebook Live on our WCBI News and Weather page, and there have been probably 5 or 6 comments in the last few minutes to say that their power's been out all across kind of the Golden Triangle. One spot was Jolly Road, which is just north of town here in Columbus. Regardless, we have heard some increasing in numbers of power outages, which again isn't the worst thing. That doesn't mean damage has occurred, and obviously losing power is a very inconvenient thing, but if that's the worst thing that happens with these storms, we'll take it, right? And these storms, again, Dylan mentioned the weakest part of the storms is kind of over in Starkville. Again, it's probably kind of loud, it's raining a lot, but the worst part of this activity here is in Lamar County. So I think kind of looking at things and how things are shaking out at the moment, I do think that once this storm gets out of Lamar County, we can sort of probably wrap things up here for the time being. Just because this segment of the storms moving through the Golden Triangle doesn't seem too menacing to me. It doesn't seem too strong at this point. And it looks like, again, the strongest part is pushing, as Dylan mentioned, through portions of Lamar County. Again, the update that we have from the Weather Service is a line of storms from near Kennedy to near Millport to down to Ethelsville. That's in western Pickens County, moving southeast at 50. So this line has picked up some speed. That's some good news, because when it was up there earlier, I thought, okay, we're going to be 2 a.m. getting these storms out of here. But it does look like probably closer to 1:30 or so. We're probably going to have to watch this line for one more hour as we kind of wrap things up here. But again, no tornado warnings at this point, but I did want to just stay with you again still as this, you can see this pocket or surge of wind, as I mentioned, is right north of Highway 96, just north of Kennedy. So there's probably the strongest part of this storm is just north of Kennedy, moving toward the north and east. Again, this part of the storm is kind of moving more northeast, and the whole line is moving a little bit south of due east. But Belk is in line. They're in the severe thunderstorm warning. That's a town in western Fayette County, and then the county seats right there. That belongs to Birmingham. Regardless, we're going to continue to watch that over to the county line. The other part of the line here, again, there were a few folks that were saying it got really breezy in Columbus, and that was the cool outflow winds pushing out from the storms, indicating that they're in a slow weakening phase. But that is something that can happen and maybe seem scary because it is a burst of wind seemingly out of nowhere, probably not raining when that gust of wind arrived. And you're thinking, what's happening? Well, that was the atmosphere kind of pushing some cooler air out and allowing these storms to start, again, their slow weakening phase. Again, this is going to be pushing out of Lamar County here shortly, and then not an all clear, but we're looking better. I will say that things have just kind of trended a little better, but you can still see clusters of strong lightning potential there that could indicate storm strengthening on a very brief basis, and so that's something that we will also watch very closely too. Dylan's recapping some video I think he took earlier, or maybe we got some video.
Yeah, we
Let's
got
just
some.
talk to him.
Thanks, Isaac. We got some video in from Jordan Smith, meteorology student over at Mississippi State. He lives on the southeast side of Starkville, and he just took this video and tweeted it to me and Isaac and WCBI Weather. Thanks, Jordan. I know he's watching back at home for sending that in. Lots of heavy rain. We're seeing the trees over there blowing around. Definitely severe thunderstorm warning criteria. Just sheets and sheets of rain. You can see leaves and other debris from the parking lot getting picked up, thrown around near constant lightning. Looks like a tropical storm or something of that nature up there. He also just texted me and told me that the screen door from his balcony on his apartment got ripped off from the winds. So there's some ground truth that, you know, these thunderstorms mean business. It's a good idea to stay inside if you're still up, if you're awake. Heck, some of you may be sleeping through it. You're missing out on some pretty intense thunderstorms out here, but stay indoors until these storms pass. A severe thunderstorm warning is in effect specifically for Starkville until, let me just check the time on that warning real quick so I give you correct information, until 1:15 a.m. The storms, as you see, this was sent to us just minutes ago, are moving through Starkville now. I bet this guy over here pulling out of the apartment complex is going to have a fun drive ahead. But thanks, Jordan, for sending this video in. Anybody else, if you have hail reports from earlier today, any wind damage reports that you've seen and can safely document it, please tweet, comment them on our Facebook page at WCBI Weather, our Instagram, any social media outlet. Please provide the location where the report happened or where you took the picture or video. It helps us out greatly in kind of verifying these thunderstorms and what, you know, kind of conditions they brought to our region. And wow, that was some, I don't know if it's picking up on the camera very well, but glancing over here at the monitor, really strong winds gusting through there, probably 40+ miles per hour. Definitely looks like a bumpy ride in Starkville. This is on the southeast side of Starkville, the southeast side of Mississippi State's campus. Look at that. Winds blowing really strong. Near constant lightning. That is one heck of a thunderstorm. Thanks, Jordan, for capturing that and sending it in. And like I said, if anybody else has reports out there, we will gladly take them. I know it's the wee hours of the morning, 12:30 going on now. It's been a long day. I went to class earlier today, and now we're over here tracking thunderstorms, doing what we love to do, keeping North Mississippi safe. Thanks for tuning in and sticking with us and hanging out with us this evening. Isaac and I are keeping an eye on things, and I'll take this video off the monitor and switch back over to kind of radar mode and our Barron system. There's what that storm in Starkville looks like right now. Jordan, who took that video, is located over here, kind of on the southeast side of campus near the university, and the storms are now pushing off to the south and east toward Octok. Octok region would be the next kind of inline. Lynn Creek down near the Noxubee National Wildlife Refuge, Brooksville, Crawford, Artesia. You're about to get in on it. Bent Oak, right there near GTR and the Air Force, not the Air Force Base, excuse me, Golden Triangle Regional Airport. All locations that are under the gun from this severe thunderstorm that's moving through. Really strong line of thunderstorms. And Isaac, yes, we've been looking at the models leading up to today and kind of what they're depicting. And I don't know about you, but this radar image looks pretty similar to what a lot of models were showing about this time. Yeah, it looks like it might be slower, and then it surged ahead. Now it's kind of back on schedule. These are some power outages. Dylan showed this earlier. Monroe County kind of showing up a little bit brighter, indicating maybe 15 to 20% of customers in and around the county maybe without power. Also Lowndes, Clay, and Lamar County also starting to populate with some power outages as well. So again, we've had a lot of people watching us on our Facebook page commenting that their power's out. They're hearing lots of thunder, loud kind of cracking, lightning, if you will. Again, all of that is inconvenient, and it is something that, you know, at this hour of the night is not welcome. We are trying to sleep, and we'd like to go to bed at some point
as well as everybody keeping us here. But we also have to keep you safe and kind of keep you informed. And so power outages have been kind of creeping up here recently, especially as kind of some of those storms surge through some of these areas, especially near the Greenwood Springs area, as well as Prairie and Monroe County and near the Air Force Base. All three of those spots I just called out potentially could have had brief tornado touchdowns earlier. Right now we have no indication of present tornado activity, but that's the reason we kind of initially came on the air about 40 or so minutes ago was for that potential that we were seeing to have some storm rotation. That is the power outage map, as I mentioned, and then here is the Vernon Skycam that we were watching earlier, and you can clearly still see a fantastic, or not fantastic, let's say incredible light show that's been kind of going on around the region as the storms push through. Again, it's not quite as constant as it was. Again, we're probably looking at the wrong camera angle. I'd probably have to move the camera around just a little bit, and the shortcuts on Dylan's computer, not this one. But regardless, you still see lightning kind of happening around, indicating that the storms are still pretty strong. Again, we're looking at the severe thunderstorm warning for Lamar County to go until 1 o'clock. Again, a lot of people are asking about their town and their county, and we get that. We want you to always feel safe and know when to go to bed. Clay County is asking if you can go to bed. The answer is yes. All clears for Clay County, no more issues there. For Louisville, not quite in the clear yet. We do have this line of storms that's still tracking south there. Nothing severe for Winston County, but you are about to get in on some of the gustier weather and gustier rain and wind activity that's going to be moving in shortly. And then for Aberdeen, for basically along and north of this line, so West Point, so Eupora, Aberdeen, Tupelo, Winona, and points all the way north to the Tennessee line, all clear. You can rest easy, and you can have some kind of steady light misting rain showing up there. Yes, some gentle sleeping weather, because this is no sleeping weather. You're losing power. Things are just sort of bumpy and not great. A new warning just popped up there for Attala County, not a tornado warning, but you can still see that mostly, basically anywhere along this line, there could be some pockets of higher wind gust potential, but I'm not seeing anything to suggest a huge wind potential in Columbus. Again, our shear rate product is almost blank, and that's something that we hadn't seen much recently. There's always been some pocket of wind damage or wind surge that might be happening in and around these spots. And again, we're not seeing any high wind potential for the Golden Triangle at this point. So that's good news. We'll check this Attala County storm. It obviously is a little stronger, but it's also further away from the radar, and so we are unable to kind of see that as well. And so with that storm kind of rolling out of here, Dylan, do you have any more videos or pictures that anybody have sent us?
I don't have any more videos or pictures. I'm looking through your Facebook comments. Rachel says it's really bad right now in the Sherwood, Matheson area as those storms move through. Rain and thunder in Montpelier. So yeah, these storms are definitely packing a punch as they move through the region. Trying to keep up with all of your Facebook comments and information. We really appreciate that. Jordan, thanks for sending that in, and we'll happily take any other reports or videos, pictures that they have to submit in the coming hours or tomorrow after these storms finally exit out of our region.
Yes, finally the word. It's 12:35. We're still kind of watching things though, but I don't think, we just had another couple of comments here that they're saying it's kind of getting bad in Artesia, and there were some other areas like the Air Force Base. Is the Air Force Base clear? Your answer, Breeley, I believe, asked that question. Answer is yes. For Air Force Base, you're all clear. For Artesia, not yet. Lowndes County Airport, not yet. We're just going to kind of see this gusty line of storms move on through. But again, no other huge concerning wind signatures that we have. But Dylan still has one final.
No, Chris wants to know if he can go to bed in Steens.
Yes,
Chris,
absolutely.
Go to bed.
We're answering some comments live on the air here. But we are going to kind of wrap it up, I do believe, because I don't see any more major, again, wind signatures or any sort of, certainly no spin-up tornado circulations. Again, we appreciate you spending some time with us tonight and always trusting us. And again, we'll always be here to continue to keep you informed. Meteorologist Ashley Bryant's coming in a little bit later on this morning to relieve us. We're going to do a switch out maybe at 1:30 or 2 and make sure this line gets all the way through the area without any more mischief, as we've been calling it recently. But that'll do it here for this round of coverage. For Dylan Hudler, I'm Chief Meteorologist Isaac Williams in the Weather Center. Good night.
This has been a WCDI First Alert Severe Weather Update. Stay connected with the First Alert team online at WCDI.com, on social media, and on your mobile device with the WCDI News app.